Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Today is... No, what is today? It's Thursday, the 2nd day of April. It's National Burrito Day, and it's also time for me to finally change this from March over to April. It's National Ferret Day. It's National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day, National Reconciliation Day, and World Autism Day.
Okay.
And if every day kind of feels the same to you lately, welcome to the club.
Yeah, exactly.
Every day's kind of, because it's just been so weird.
It has.
Like, our normal schedules are kind of different.
Everything's a mess.
It's just a little bit bizarre. And that kind of leads me into my Dear John letter for today. We've got a Dear John letter coming up here, and I've got somebody helping me with the Dear John letter. Reached out and asked for some help from Anthony Brinkley. He's from On the Brink Consulting, and we're going to be chatting with him to answer a Dear John letter from an employer that's having a tough time. It's all on the way. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you should consider joining us for this amazing vacation.
My wife and I have been to this event the last 3 years, and we've had a blast.
Join us at The Sands.
Hear amazing music from Billy Idol,
Cheap Trick,
Belinda Carlisle,
Little River Band,
The Hooters,
Tesla,
Howard Jones,
and many more.
Plus, meet awesome stars from movies and TV.
It's the best week ever.
Learn more right now at thesands.rocks.
That's thesands.rocks.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A study by Chase Brexton Health Services found that 80% of coronavirus cases get treated the same way as the flu, with a lot of rest, a lot of fluids, honey, and chicken noodle soup.
Okay.
So saying if you have things that you think could be that, do that first maybe.
Yep.
And then if it doesn't get better, then maybe seek other help. And,
right.
Or if you feel like it's getting way worse. But again, don't take my advice because I'm not even a doctor on the radio. But I do have a link to this story, and it's from the health service people there. I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Not all credit cards are created equally. Some cards have higher rates, some have annual fees, some are just not very good. Often people will sign up for these because that's all they qualify for. But if you've done that, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation can change. Then you could qualify for a better credit card, one that offers you a better rate, or one that offers miles, points, cash back, or whatever is the best fit for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. A drunk Florida man thanked a good Samaritan who gave him a place to stay when he couldn't get home, thanked him by urinating all over his bedroom and then attacking him. Yeah. The victim said he was at a party in downtown Melbourne on Saturday when he met Colin Geeb, who was described as a friend of a friend. 23-year-old Geeb was very intoxicated, did not have a way to get home, could not provide his address. So the victim said, you know what, I'll just let you stay at my place. You need to be somewhere safe. So he got him home, put him in a room.
Wow.
And he heard noises coming from there. And that's when he went in and he said the guy was urinating all over the room.
Oh, my God.
And then he said, hey, you need to leave. You need to go. And instead he got upset and, punched him multiple times and tried to choke him. Anyway, they found blood on the front door, holes in the walls, room.
That's disgusting. Covered
in urine. And the guy was charged with battery, indecent exposure, and property damage. That's a bad idea, but I guess that is what happens when your brain is thoroughly on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Ariana Grande. Sounds like she's a pretty awesome person. She's been secretly sending money to fans affected by the coronavirus outbreak. So she's not doing it for the attention. It's not like she put out a press release, but there are fans who were online talking about how things were really a struggle.
Right. And
she secretly sent them money. And then they're the ones that are going, hey, Ariana Grande helped me out. She helped pay this or she helped pay that. I think that's really cool. How cool is that?
I'm about to become a fan of Ariana Grande.
Heidi's going to start following her.
Complaining every day.
I guess I'm going to have to open a Twitter account. It's also
only following one person.
I have. Apparently, she's a big fan of me. Kylie Jenner is also pretty darn awesome. Listen to this. Kylie Jenner donated $1 million to her gynecologist to help buy masks during this outbreak. I guess that was an issue where they needed some more masks. So, but $1 million.
$1 million worth of masks?
I don't know if they needed that many, but maybe that was for other things too. But that was one of the things. I've got a link to the story. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Drinking too much can ruin your life. Alcohol and drug issues can cause problems at work, at home, and pretty much everywhere. If substance abuse has taken over your life and you want to quit, there is help. TimeForRehab.com could be the first step in the right direction for you. TimeForRehab.com would love to help you find a new life beyond addiction. Your insurance company may even cover the cost to help make this happen. You can learn more now at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Number of millionaires living in the United States has fallen by 500,000 in the last month.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's pretty darn scary. But here's the good news. A lot of that is probably going to bounce back.
Yeah,
because
for
so
sure.
much of
It
that
will.
is
It's tied to the stock
yeah,
market.
stock market, tied to other things.
Yeah, it absolutely will.
We got a Dear John letter coming up here in a bit that the person was really kind of freaking out and got some great advice online. I've got a super, super smart person that's going to be helping me answer that letter. Not Heidi this time. Usually it's Heidi, but no, I've got a pro that's going to be helping give some great advice. But keep in mind, this is temporary. So there are a lot of people out there really, really getting worried. BuzzFeed is one of the companies who let some employees go. It says they cut their salaries by 25% during the pandemic. So one of the things I said is, hey, I want to keep you guys on board, but we have to reduce your pay for a little bit.
Right.
And that's really nice.
Yeah,
Now,
that's way better than just saying, gotta go home.
Online, people have been kind of mean about this because BuzzFeed, they're the ones that always put out the list like 7 signs you know he's cheating.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
You know their stories?
Yeah.
So there were like 7 signs that you're going to have to find a different job. All the comments on the BuzzFeed story, it was like the meanest. It was funny, but it was really mean. I'm like, oh, come on. Don't be mean. That's just their job to make the BuzzFeed lists. Starbucks is offering free coffee to first responders from now through the 3rd of May.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
just over a month. That's really cool. Harvard research study found that social distancing may need to be turned on and off to control the spread of coronavirus until a vaccine arrives. So they're saying even after like the social distancing part is done now, we may have to, again, in the future, do another social distancing time if we feel like there's going to be an outbreak. So they're saying, hey, maybe you want to keep those cozy clothes somewhere handy. So even when it is time to go back to work, you still have those to fall back into. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio warned that half of New Yorkers will most likely get the coronavirus, by the way. It's a big number. Half of the people that live there. This explains everything, by the way. Listen to this. The makers of TikTok have been caught telling software developers to suppress posts by ugly users in order to make the platform more attractive. That's why my TikTok posts are going nowhere.
Please.
Heidi, I have TikToked so much. Am I saying it right?
TikTok.
I don't know. I honestly did. I had that on my phone. Our daughter used my phone, like, was it 2 weeks ago? She used my phone for something, to find a photo or something. And she picked it up. She goes, "You have TikTok?" And she said it in such a snarly little way. I was like, I don't even know why I have that. So I think maybe she or maybe our son, somebody probably downloaded it. I'm like, I'm not using it. I don't know what you're doing there. And one last thing, Pearl Jam finally released another studio album. First one in the last 7 years. Came out last week. It's going to do it for your Scoop of the Day. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Introducing InsuranceChicken.com. Why InsuranceChicken.com? Why not? Another insurance company has a duck, one has an emu, and that other company has a lizard. So InsuranceChicken.com is no more silly than any of those. Is it time for you to cross the road for your insurance? Don't be chicken. Check out InsuranceChicken.com. We'll help you peck out the best insurance rates we can find at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
And it's time right now for Dear John Letters. My Dear John letter for today. Dear John, my business is closed right now. My grandfather opened this business. My father ran it until he passed away last year. I've worked here for over 20 years. When we locked the doors last week, it was the first time the business has been closed for more than a long weekend. I'm feeling pretty low right now. I've had many people tell me it's going to be okay, but do you have any advice to help me feel better for me letting my whole team go? Signed, lousy feeling boss. First of all, before I even talk to my expert here, I'm going to tell you, this is something that many, many people are going through right now. So don't take this personally. It's not you. I have an awesome guy that's going to actually give some advice, not just for our Dear John letter, but for everybody listening. He's a resilience training coach by the name of Anthony Brinkley. He's the CEO of On the Brink Consulting, and he's worked with the U.S. military. He's also worked with the NFL and many Fortune 500 companies. Mr. Brinkley, thank you very much for taking time to chat with us. This person's going through some tough stuff. Any advice for business owners now?
Well, the first thing that I would tell people is that, as being involved with On the Brink, and as you said, I deal with a lot of businesses, but I deal with, everybody else. The first thing I think people aren't really talking about is that as a country and as individuals, we're actually going through a massive state of grieving. And grieving is associated with this perceived sense of loss. It could have been you lost a person in your life, you lost your job, you lost everything associated with what you consider normalcy in your life. So the first thing is to acknowledge that you're grieving, because there might be a reason why you haven't been picking up behind yourself in the morning. You don't even make your bed anymore. You've been moving slow, or there's lethargy associated with you. So the first thing is acknowledge where you are and take a breath and assess, okay, have I really lost anything, or the things that I lost, is there a way I can reobtain them, or I can find a way to retrofit what I'm doing to establish a new normal in my life?
That's awesome advice. Now, there are a lot of people who have a lot of time on their hands right now. Any advice for people on what they can do with their time?
It's amazing how a few weeks ago time was just blistering by, and now it seems like time has come to a snail's pace. One of the things I would tell them to do is get up in the morning and develop a schedule. Because if you don't, you're going to sit around and reflect on things that maybe don't add value. So I get up in the morning. I'll say the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to read something that feeds my spirit and my mindset. I'm going to meditate a little bit. I'm going to clean up after myself. Then I'm going to start doing some work. Because think about this. During this time, there's going to be a lot of things that's going to be cultivated from a creative standpoint, that we're going to do things differently moving forward. We have to, because of what's happened. So what are those things inside of you that you've been waiting to get to? For example, when I was in combat, I wrote my first book because I was so much going on. I had so many things on my mind. And I'm not saying that people need to write books, but maybe journaling to get your feelings out. You get that thing off your chest. And then another thing is exercise throughout the day. Take different times on your schedule and exercise. Get to your door, sit outside, let the sun hit your face. Reach out to forums like this that you have established to get good information that can feed you. A schedule and a correct mindset will get you through a lot of things.
Tell me a little more about that. When you were writing your first book, you were in battle at the time?
I was in combat. I was overseas. And I tell people this, all a crisis is a bunch of information coming to you at one time. What you have to do is, you have to it could be good things. We just had our first baby. We bought a house. Grandmother's coming to visit, all these things. Or it's a pandemic, or someone's ill. So I tell people to take your energy and creatively put it into something good. One of the reasons that people get in trouble is that they overthink things. You don't get rid of a bad thought by thinking, because if that was the case, we wouldn't worry. So what I tell people, I give them a quick exercise that can help them in their life. I say, count silently in your head to 10. And as they're counting silently in their head to 10, in the middle, before they get to 10, I say, I need you to audibly recite your name. And when they recite their name, I ask them a question. I say, what did you have to do to recite your name? I had to stop thinking about what I was counting on, and I had to speak. So a lot of us have to retrain our brain when we're going through things. So when you're having a bad thought, replace it by speaking a good thought. All anxiety is you're focusing negatively on what might happen. People that's able to listen to your radio station, that means they have access to information. That means things aren't as bad. That means they're not alone. Even if they're physically by themselves, they're not alone. So little techniques like this change how you configure your orientation to yourself will help you through this process.
That's fantastic. Again, Anthony Brinkley, CEO of On the Brink Consulting. I've got a link to his information, so if you'd like to find his books, you'll find all of it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. You can also chime in for our Dear John letter at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
If you grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you should consider joining us for this amazing vacation.
My wife and I have been to this event the last 3 years, and we've had a blast.
Join us at The Sands.
Hear amazing music from Billy Idol,
Cheap Trick,
Belinda Carlisle,
Little River Band,
The Hooters,
Tesla,
Howard Jones,
and many more.
Plus, meet awesome stars from movies and TV.
It's the best week ever.
Learn more right now at thesands.rocks.
That's thesands.rocks.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In Germany, people help toads cross the road. So remember the game Frogger?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Frogger.
Maybe they don't do that in Germany because they like to protect their toads and frogs and other amphibians. In order to save them from harm when crossing the street, conservation organizations installed more than 800 fences along popular roadways. Along the fences are buckets, so when they try to cross, they'll hop into a bucket. At the end of the day, conservationists will collect the buckets and release the frogs across the road into a nearby forest with ponds and lakes.
How on earth would the frog know that he has to get in a bucket and
He doesn't.
wait for a conservationist?
He's hopping along, and then he ends up in the bucket. So they have it so there's like only one place to go, and instead of getting into the road, he lands in a bucket. So in other words, they got frogs.
I would think that was pretty
Cruel?
No.
Gonna hang out in this bucket all day. Difficult to
kind of a
do?
wild card, isn't it? I mean,
don't
what are the
know.
chances the frog's going to hop right into a
I
bucket
don't
every
know.
time?
Well, that's where they got a sign up that says frog crossing here. They thought it all through. This is today's fun fact.
Not all credit cards are created equally. Some cards have higher rates, some have annual fees, some are just not very good. Often people will sign up for these because that's all they qualify for. But if you've done that, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation can change. Then you could qualify for a better credit card, one that offers you a better rate, or one that offers miles, points, cash back, or whatever is the best fit for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline, Switzerland. Is that a first?
I think
Have we been to
it
Switzerland?
is.
I don't think we've done this yet. So, Dateline Switzerland. A Swiss hotel is offering luxury quarantine packages, including a coronavirus test. That's kind of
Okay.
cool. So you can go there and stay for however long you want to stay, and they'll even give you a test, to make sure you're not going to get the rest of their
Okay.
guests sick, apparently. It's kind of cool. So,
You think so?
I don't know. It'd be cool to have a quarantine package. Think about this. There would be worse places to be stuck. Like, we've been places that I would remember on our honeymoon, on our way home. Our honeymoon was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
On our way home, I'm not going to say what town it was in just because that would be mean, just in case somebody listening is from there.
The weather got bad. And
Yeah,
we
it was
had
like
to
a blizzard.
stay. Yeah.
And it's a town that I used to always look forward to going to when I was a kid because something that's in that
Yeah.
town, we were like, oh, hey, we're going to be there. And we ended up staying there, and the place was lousy.
It was awful.
Can you imagine being quarantined in that hotel room?
gosh, it was
It was the only room available. So we went there, and this tiny little bed that was sunken down in the middle. It was
had to
bad.
grasp onto the side of the bed to keep from rolling into each other. It was
We were just-
awful.
it was like a nest. So I could imagine there's a lot of places that would be way better than that. This is a news headline from somewhere in this world.
Drinking too much can ruin your life. Alcohol and drug issues can cause problems at work, at home, and pretty much everywhere. If substance abuse has taken over your life and you want to quit, there is help. Timeforrehab.com could be the first step in the right direction for you. Timeforrehab.com would love to help you find a new life beyond addiction. Your insurance company may even cover the cost to help make this happen. You can learn more now at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Time now for some weird news. Brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A man convicted less than a year ago of assaulting his roommate is now accused of biting off another roommate's earlobe.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. 30-year-old Ryan Michael Cook of West Valley City was arrested. Investigations of mayhem and intoxication.
Gross.
Have you ever heard of mayhem?
Mayhem.
Coming over. Why? For mayhem. Somebody's doing some mayhem. 2 a.m. He got into a fight with his new roommate. They've been together for 4 months. During this fight, he took off the right earlobe of the roommate,
Gross.
causing separation of the ear and the earlobe.
Ugh.
Police noted he was highly intoxicated. He was convicted of a similar crime. This is like a year ago. He was placed on a 2-year probation. A warrant has been issued for his arrest because he didn't stay clean. He got himself in more trouble. Why? Because he bit someone's ear off. So they better put him in his own cell. I'm just saying. It's probably not a good plan to put him in with other people. That is today's weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Georgia police have arrested a man and accused him. He was accused of pointing a gun at 2 women because he was afraid to catch coronavirus. What?
Okay.
They were called to a post office after a report of a person pulling a gun. When they got to the scene, officers found 2 women at the scene. The suspect had already fled. Victims told the police they entered the post office wearing medical masks and gloves when they met a man who immediately pulled a gun and told them to get back. Police say the man's license plate is what they used to track him down, and they found him in his driveway where he was peacefully surrendering. Officials there say that he had holstered the firearm, which was in the holster when he was arrested. During questioning, he said he pointed the gun at the victims, quote, in fear of catching the coronavirus.
Oh, okay.
So they were coming in wearing medical masks, and he thought they were like sick. And he's like, stay away. But he could have done that politely without pointing a gun, and then he wouldn't have been arrested.
Right, you would think so.
There's a right and a wrong way. Civilization
Yes.
is still civil. So let's try to continue to be civil to each other. No matter what's going on in the world, just be nice to each other. It is amazing how much further you get by being kind. Thanks for listening to today's Moment of Da.
Introducing InsuranceChicken.com. Why InsuranceChicken.com? Why not? Another insurance company has a duck, one has an emu, and that other company has a lizard. So InsuranceChicken.com is no more silly than any of those. Is it time for you to cross the road for your insurance? Don't be chicken. Check out InsuranceChicken.com. We'll help you peck out the best insurance rates we can find at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for Fake News or Florida. This is where I read a little story here, and Heidi, my beautiful wife over here, has to tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it hashtag fake news made up just to trick her and, I'm not going to kid you, and amuse me?
All right.
Ready? All right,
I'm ready.
Here we go. Fake news or Florida? A holiday Florida man was arrested for driving a stolen car with a monkey riding a shotgun. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
No, it's a true story.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you did the monkey one just because, I love monkeys.
I know
thought
you
were
love
trying to
monkeys.
trip me up.
I just showed you a video, one of the most adorable things ever, of a monkey cleaning the dash of a
I
car.
want a monkey so bad.
Heidi's a big fan of monkeys. She keeps saying we need a monkey, and I say we got
do.
2 dogs, not getting any monkeys till our dogs are gone. Then she's over there like feeding our dogs fried food. Our dogs probably have high cholesterol. Heidi's feeding them all kinds of fast food and stuff lately. Just hoping they're going to kick the bucket so she can get her monkey. But this, it's a true story. A guy stole a car and had a monkey as an accomplice. That is today's Fake News or Florida.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is a really cool good news story. You ready for a really cool good news story?
I'm ready.
All right, Yale. You've heard of them, right?
Yes.
It's like a university and stuff.
Yes.
Yale has a massively popular happiness course, and it's available online for free.
Really?
So in an effort to help the public find some joy in the middle of what we're going through right now, Yale is making one of their most popular classes available for free on the internet. In the last month, guess how many people have started watching this?
How many?
More than 600,000 households.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So in an increasing... let me try that again. In just the past month, more than 600,000 people in an increasingly household world have signed up for Yale's The Science of Well-Being course. So it was that many people signing up for it. They taught this course originally on campus by psychology professor Laurie Santos. The course highlights research that reveals misconceptions about what makes us happy and the concrete steps we can take to live a more fulfilled life. I think we should actually watch this. Total enrollment for the class from March of 2018 through March of 2019 was 539,000. That's how many people were doing it online and stuff. By the end of March of this year, it was 1.153 million.
Wow.
With 631,000 enrolling last month alone. An additional 10.5 million have visited the site recently. So there are people who didn't take the course, but They visited. Even if
checked
they
it
didn't sign
out.
up. Yeah. I have a link to the story. I think it sounds like a lot of fun. Heidi, would you do that with me?
No.
You wouldn't watch a couple of videos that want to teach you how to be a happier person?
No, I'm very delightfully
You
happy.
sound really happy. You sound just smitten with happiness right now. All right. Time to
If
say
I were any
goodbye.
happier, I'd burst.
Yeah, I can tell. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Hey, if you want to take the class with me, we'll do this together. Heidi doesn't need to know. You can find it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.